Super hot take. AI generated brands, meaning brands that use AI to generate all their content and their visuals, anything else they're doing from a marketing perspective, are going to lose. Yeah, I said it. It's on the internet now. Mike Jones has said AI generated brands are going to lose. Here's my case. All right, so bear with me here. We've talked about this before on the channel, but if we project out, if we look like maybe 5 years out, what does the landscape of content look like from brands, right? They're putting out content, they're putting out marketing, especially B2B brands, professional services brands maybe, who rely heavily on the expertise of their organization, of their firm, to talk about their services and to get people excited and interested in what they're doing, right? Because almost no one hires a B2B brand, and especially a professional services brand, if they don't trust them to be experts at what they do. So if we project out, let's say you run an accounting firm, and you, for 5 years now, so for 5 years ahead of today, you've been generating tons of articles, maybe AI generated podcast episodes, AI generated YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagrams, whatever new social platform pops up. Well, it's gonna be, you'll do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn with AI too. Okay, but there's some new social program, right? You're doing all this. It's all AI generated. The AI tools are amazing. You can get really branded stuff. It looks good. You can't tell that it's not a real person in it. But here's the problem. Your content needs to be distributed. People need to find it. People need to see it. People need to care and pay attention to it. And here's what I think is going to happen. So I'm totally prognosticating here, but here's what I think is going to happen. One, your content will not be different than anyone else who's making stuff with AI. So yeah, it might have a little different color and logo on it, but the intrinsic content itself, what you're saying, what you mean by what you're saying, will not be different than anyone else who's using AI, because you're all sourcing from the same material. You're all using the same mind, if you want to put it in those terms, right? And I'm not saying AI is going to go like full, like super artificial intelligence type stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about large language models, the way it works today. It's going to get better, but I don't think it's going to get smarter, and I don't think it's going to get deeper in its knowledge, because it doesn't have knowledge. All right, so that's the first issue. It's going to be the same. It's not going to be differentiated, which means it's not going to stand out. And all these platforms use AI to tell the world, to try to determine a user, like how much they should engage with it, right? Is this worthy of putting in front of them? So when you create a YouTube video and it's all AI generated, the voiceover, the content itself, the script, the background video stuff that you're putting in there, everything you're doing to tell that story is all artificially created from AI. And no one's guiding it. No one's making a story out of it. No one is actually inputting subject matter expertise. So it's going to look and sound just like everybody else's. Maybe a little flair on it that's yours, but not much, right? Because it's all coming from the same platforms. And the platforms that are determining, like let's say YouTube, right? Who already uses an AI. They're using an AI to algorithmically decide what videos show up in people's streams, right? So your video gets published. How is it going to determine whether it's valuable or not? I think that if it senses it's AI generated, more than 80%, 70%, maybe even 50%, right? It's going to de-algorithm it. It's going to not showcase it because it knows, one, it's not different than any of the other videos that are about the same topic. And number two, it can't learn from it. It can't use it in its own tools. Gemini, Google's own platform that uses YouTube and YouTube content in order to learn, in order to like better answer people's prompts. is not going to want your content because it's not different. They already have that answer. They don't need the answer again. So that's my first take on why AI generated brands are going to lose. They're going to lose, right? Here's the other reason. People they will demand extra attention for human generated contents and insights. When I plug in a very complex situation into Gemini or to ChatGPT or Copilot or one of the other, Claude, whatever one you're using right now, Perplexity, there's so many, oh my goodness. Anyway, they're gonna plug that in. People are gonna want very complicated problems solved. LLMs can't solve those problems because they've never been solved prior. If it hasn't been published somewhere and published a lot of times, LLMs don't know how to answer. They don't know how to answer a question that hasn't already been published, right? They only know algorithmically, here is the expected answer because it's been trained on statistically figuring out if these words show up in my prompt, this is the things that people expect to hear back. It's going to give you expected answers. If that's the case, then your content, if it is not differentiated, if it's not answering questions at a very deep subject matter expertise level, people are not going to care. They're not going to want it. They're not going to pay attention to it. We're already seeing that when people scroll and they sniff out, oh, this sounds like AI. It doesn't actually answer my question. It doesn't really answer my problem. It's not actually interesting. Then I'm gone. I'm not paying attention to it, right? And I think if you can prove that your content is actually human generated, meaning came from a person's mind. Yeah, maybe they used AI a little bit to help them organize their thoughts, or maybe edit it and clean it up and make it look a little better. That's fine. I don't think that's going to be the issue. The issue is, where did it originate from? If it was you plugging in a prompt that says, generate me an article or generate me a video about X topic, and it's all just slop from AI, I think that's going to get totally ignored. People are not going to watch it. They're not going to engage with it. And they're not going to demand for it. They're not going to sign up for your newsletter if it's all AI. I guarantee that. It has to be real, true insights. And when you prove that it's real, true, great insights from a human brain, people will sign up in flocks because the internet is going to be flooded with slop and garbage everywhere. That's why I think AI generated brands are going to lose over and over. And here's the other thing. Just think back on this. What are the main sources for LLMs right now? I go search it. Go do the research yourself right now. And yeah, okay, it changes from month to month a little bit. But what are like the main sources? Where are the places that these LLMs are being trained? And this is not a decision that the LLM makes. This is a decision that the engineers are making. They're saying, hey, place more emphasis on these sources as you kind of learn how to statistically answer people's prompts. What are those sources? Wikipedia. All human generated content. I guarantee you, if you go on there and you post some AI slop on some article as one of the editors, right? And you're adding some content to a Wikipedia page, I guarantee you the human editors in Wikipedia who love to own Wikipedia, to make edits, to gatekeep everything on there because they know that's the value of Wikipedia. You will be kicked off the platform, is my guess. You will be ostracized if you start copy pasting AI generated content onto Wikipedia because they know that's what's valuable. It's human generated content. And so it's a huge source for all these LLMs. What are some others? Reddit. Reddit is all human generated content. It's real opinions from real people, at least for now. And the minute it stops being that, I guarantee you it's going to be de-algorithmed and totally erased from these LLMs. They're not going to use it. What's another one? YouTube. YouTube is a massive human generated archive of content, of opinions, of ideas, of thoughts, of tactics, all from real people's experiences until recently, right? Because now there's some like AI generated stuff. But guess what? YouTube is run by the world's probably foremost, best, and maybe oldest AI engine. which is Google's actual AI engine. Before they had Gemini, before they launched that, they've been using AI for over 10 years to build the algorithms for YouTube and other products that they use. Do you think that their AI is not smart enough to sniff out content that's AI, videos that are AI, and then de-algorithm them so that Gemini doesn't learn from those ones, but only from human-generated content? I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Now, it's a guess, it's a supposition, but I think it's actually right. Because if I were building these things, I would not want LLMs trained on LLM content. There's no value in that. All right, what are some others? Huge licensing deal between OpenAI and the Wall Street Journal. Human journalists, human editors creating human-generated content with real facts, on-the-ground reporting, real opinions from real people, all, yes, edited, and maybe they're using AI to edit some of that. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but they're probably really, really careful with that. Because if they damage their brand in any kind of way by showcasing they're just AI generating all this stuff, they're gone. The Wall Street Journal is gone. And I guarantee you their licensing deals that they have out with these LLMs are gone in a heartbeat, right? New York Times has similar deals. So all human generated, like proven brands that are based on like that they are human generated content, and they're making millions, if not billions of dollars through this, right? And these LLMs are showcasing that content. That is the content that they are training on. If your brand is built on just AI, if it is purely AI content, if it is just copy pasted, even light editing on that is not going to cut it in the long term. You need to have a real point of view. You need to have real human generated ideas and concepts, tactics, processes, tools, and experiences that other humans want to connect with. If you don't have that, if you are building an AI generated brand, you are going to lose in the long term. I'm not saying don't use AI, but use it at your own risk.